Wouldn't. It's what I've dreamed of since I was a little girl. But I guess I've learned life isn't always like what you'll imagine it to be when you're a kid. Ain't it the truth? It's not the sword or the armor or some monarch's approval. That's not what I really want. What matters to me is helping people, I guess. Doing good things, heroic things. I want to become someone who can be trusted and depended on to come through no matter what. I don't need to be officially knighted as long as I can be that. When I say it like that, it sounds so silly. Not at all. I know just what you mean. I wait for him to elaborate on that, but he doesn't. Once again, I realize he never really answered my question. Mind waiting here for a second? I'm gonna go have a smoke, and I don't like to do it in front of the little one. Oh, sure, go ahead. I'm happy to watch Prince Elgandir for a moment. But when Crow's not back after about 20 minutes, I start to worry. It's getting dark. Anything can happen on a mountain like this. I can't forget that. Pulling the prince and his donkey along with me, I set out to look for Crow. Through the trees, I can see a small clearing. I can just make out Crow's familiar shape through the branches. He dead rip. When I try to push through, the shape disappears. All I can see is a flash of blue on the cliffside opposite. And before I can go any further, there's a hand on my shoulder. Looking for me? Ugh! How did you get behind me? Just the usual way. Sorry, darling. Didn't mean to scare you. That's okay. I wanted to make sure you were all right. We should push on a little further and make camp. Sounds nice. Lead the way. I turn and leave with him. For some reason, I don't want to look behind me at what I saw, or what I thought I saw. Maybe I imagined it? But that flash of blue lingers in my mind, hovering around the edges of my memory. There's something familiar about it, but I can't place it. I guess it doesn't matter. Soon we make camp for the night in a small cave on the cliff. As I drift to sleep, the worries fade a bit from my mind, but I see flashes of blue light in my dreams. What does it mean? I wake the next morning to the sound of a crackling fire and the shuffle of cards. Crow is doing more little tricks for Prince Elgandir. You realize what his plan is? Oh, don't tell, no spoilers. When Crow correctly guesses the prince's card for the 5th time in the row, the little boy almost cracks a smile. The smell of fried eggs wafts through the tent. I see he's made good use of my food supplies. Crow, that smells so good, you can cook? Oh, yeah. I think that's it, hamster. Sure, when the opportunity goes and presents itself. You really are a man of many talents. Darling, you have no idea. So, want me to read your fortune in the cards? Sure, I love hokey stuff like that. Do you now? Well, I'm fond of it too. I settle down on the floor across from him. He shuffles the deck and deals out 2 cards face down in front of me. Okay, pick one.
Left or right?
Left. Oh, damn. It's the pale fox. He looks pretty sneaky. Oh, don't worry, darling. Just means you're awful good looking. You know, a real fox. 'Cause I didn't need cards to tell me that. Gosh, you're such a flirt. You gotta be ashamed of yourself. Everyone picked right and I picked left. Okay, I didn't wait. I feel like I picked correctly. I feel like it would have been the fox no matter what we picked. TBH. I know I ought to, but I never am. What's it really mean, though? I mean, being good looking isn't a real fortune. Crow hesitates before he answers. There's a look on his face that seems unlike him. Actually, the pale fox means somebody's lying to you, and you don't even know it. My heart sinks. I know fortune telling is just a silly game, but this feels different somehow. 'Cause he's lying to you. After all, the only person who could possibly be lying to me right now is... It's me. I've been lying to you. What? You have? Darling, the truth is... I ain't got the faintest idea what any of these cards mean. Oh man, he was about to come clean, but he didn't. He knows. After a moment of stunned silence, we both burst into laughter. I bet you think you're very cute, don't you? Let's just eat already. The three of us have a nice breakfast, yet heart of the cards, how dare you? How dare you? The three of us have a nice breakfast together. Huddled together in warmth and safety, you'd almost forget that we're on a perilous mountain. And after another day of travel or two, we'll part ways and never see each other again. I already feel a little sad, thinking of saying goodbye. Eating together, talking, laughing. Feels almost like the family dinners we had on the farm. I catch Crow meeting my eyes and I blush and look away. He'd probably laugh if he knew what I was thinking. Once we're ready to go, we venture out of the cave. Oh, I like this face. This is a new face. It's the determined one with eyes closed. It snowed a lot overnight. I try not to let it get me down, but the trail we were following is hard to find. On the other hand, considering the horror stories I've heard about Mount Needle, I guess it could be worse. After walking a few hours, though, I realize the snow's taken us pretty far off course. We're officially lost. Ahead of us is an open crevasse, deep and jagged, like the stone was torn open by the claws of some giant beast. Was it Dragon Bay? I can't see a way to pass it, and we shouldn't have come across it anyway. Not if we were following the path I'd wanted. It's trouble. Feel like swearing yet? No, never. Don't worry, I can figure this out. Let's see. There's no way to make a bridge, not a reliable one anyway. Maybe I could try to leap across and find something on the other side. Aboard, this is taking too long. Calm down, little fella. I have a feeling we'll find our way across somehow. It's nice that you're optimistic, but having a feeling isn't really helping with... Before I can even finish the thought, a terrifying screech shakes me to my core. Rising up over the hills is what looks like a giant owl. Eek! After shrieking in fear, the poor little prince faints dead away. Glad he's not awake to see the huge bird's vicious talons unfold or hear the deadly quiet of its noiseless wings as it flies right at us. Is that a night rock? It's the middle of the day, that's impossible. It shouldn't be hunting in daylight. There's no time for questions, though. It's coming right at us.
Since Bay is magic, we could grab the prince and run. But I think we should be a good knight and fight it. But Bay's definitely magic.
I thought that was Dragon Bay for a quick second. What a twist. Ride the bird. That's obviously the plan. I think if we draw our sword, he's gonna be like, "Nah, don't worry, little darling. We're just gonna ride this fucker." Date the bird. Okay, we're gonna date the bird. You're in the wrong dating sim, Scruff. We're drawing the sword. I pull out my greatsword, but the night rock's too fast. In one swift motion, it's on top of us, and the sky above me is blocked by massive wings and feathers. In one massive talon, it grabs a hold of me and Crow. In the other, it grabs the donkey and the prince. As far as I can tell, it hasn't dug its claws in yet. We can still get out of this alive. It carries us high over the crevasse. Luckily, I have my sword in my free arm, operating on pure instinct and ignoring the sinking feeling inside my stomach as we rise up into the air. I strike. Oh, this might not be good. It was gonna carry us, now it's gonna drop us. My blade digs into the meat of the night rock's left talon and the one grabbing onto me and Crow. The night rock screeches in pain, but so does Crow. Did the claws dig into him when I attacked? I don't see any blood. He's so magic. I'm starting to panic at the same time. I better not strike again. I can't risk hurting anyone. But if I'm not going to attack again, I have no idea what to do. I wish I'd planned this out better. But then, how could I have expected a night rock attack in daylight? Maybe I can wait for us to drop it in its nest and strike quickly at its heart, try to kill it in one blow. My mind is racing, so I hardly notice that night rock slows its flight and drifts to the ground. He is the bird. Well, no, he's like warging and shit. As soon as the rock passes over the crevasse, it drops us back into the snow, safely on the other side. Then the great bird immediately flies off, disappearing in the cloudy sky. What? Why did it do that? Never mind, I gotta check on the prince first to make sure he's okay. I brush his sweaty hair out of his face and feel for a pulse. Prince Legander is still unconscious, but alive and safe. Thank goodness. I don't know how I'd live with myself if something happened. I look around. The night rock's completely gone. The donkey seems fine, if a bit dazed. Crow, however, is lying on the ground, clutching his left hand. I rush to his side and pull him out of the snow, cradling him in my lap. Okay, so that was fighting him, is how we figure out that it's Bay. Ain't this a nice situation? Oh, shut up, you're hurt. Oh, your hand's really bleeding. Is that where it dug its claws in? Wait, that doesn't make any sense. It grabbed you around the waist, so it shouldn't have clawed your hand. An idea is coming to mind, foggy at first, but slowly solidifying around the edges. I cut the night rock on its claw, and Crow cried out in pain when I did, and now his hand is bleeding in the same spot. I know what this means, although I can hardly believe it. You couldn't have, could you? You nailed me good with that hit. Don't fret about it. You couldn't have known. I reckon the jig is up now, though. You were possessing that night rock? But why would you do that? To get us across the crevasse, of course. Didn't expect you to be so quick and get a hit in, though. Damn, girl, you're good. Those royals would be fools not to make you a knight. That means you're a mage. You were possessing a creature of that size? That's incredible. But if my strike on its left talon caused you to get the same cut on your hand, then that means... He grins up at me and coughs, his voice a little wheezy. Yeah, I'm not too good at possessing. A mage skilled in that particular art would know how to keep his soul apart from the night rocks and not take on the same wounds. Wow, guy named Crow's a burb. Who thought? As you can see, I'm pretty rusty at it. Took some damage. Oh, you really nailed me, darling. It's like he's actually proud that I sliced open his hand. What is he, crazy? He seems mostly okay, though. After a moment, he manages to stand up. His hand's bleeding, but not as badly as I thought. That's a relief. If you're wondering, I know lots of types of magic, but only a little of each. Just enough to be slightly useful in most situations. I dedicate most of my time and energy to mastering one particular magical art, and that one's a real humdinger. It takes up a lot of my attention, so I don't have much left for anything else. If you're not good at possession, why do you use it to try and get us across the crevasse? Well, like I said, just enough to be useful. And hey, can't say it didn't work. Sorry for not telling you my plan beforehand, by the way. Was kind of hoping to keep up the ruse a little longer. Do me a favor, though. Don't tell the kid. I need to wait for the right time.
You can't tell, but all you'll get in trouble. You'll get so in trouble.
Yeah, Hamster, you're 110% on the ball for this one. I hope he doesn't betray us. If the dragon didn't eat us, I'm pretty sure the mage is gonna be fine. You shouldn't tell him at all. Are you kidding me? Maybe you can get away with using magic in the Southern Kingdom if you're careful, but the problem is you're the Prince's guardian, and you're a mage, and you haven't been truthful about it. If you tell the prince, people will find out eventually. There's no telling what his father would do once it gets back to him. So that means you've got to keep it a secret. Please, promise me, Crow. I don't want anything bad happening to you. I get emotionally invested in people really quickly. Rosemary, you do realize you're advising me to lie to the royal family, which is against the law, naturally. I wish you didn't have to do that, but I can't see any way around it. You can't let them lock you away or hurt you. Well now, you got a wild streak after all. Of course, that's no surprise to me. I knew it as soon as I laid eyes on you. I don't know about that. I just know what's right is all. You do. More than most folks I've met. Now is when we find out he's also trying to pull a Jafar. And I'm very glad of that. Thank you, Crow. I hope you know I think you're a good person. That's why I really want you to be okay. Well, can't promise anything, except that I'll try. For what it's worth, I'm sorry I lied to you, truly. I guess it's okay. You probably felt like you didn't have much choice, right? Now that I think about it, I should have guessed. Those little tricks you were doing really were magic. Whenever I asked about them, you'd flirt with me to dodge the subject. Rosemary, I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a man to use a woman like that.